Hey guys, Chronic Critic here. Welcome to the channel, or if you've been here before, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do something a little different, something I've never seen before, but I'm really excited and I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you do, I will absolutely do more, although they do take a little bit of time. But today we're doing a action figure pitch. Starting off with obviously Captain Catherine Janeway. We have to start with a solid Janeway figure. We went with her look from the later seasons where her hair's down. You know, good points of articulation, just a solid figure. Let's move on. We got the Doctor, the EMH. I think he looks pretty sweet. He comes with some medical equipment. Then we have Tuvok, and he has his little Kelto game, which I thought would be pretty sweet to have him come with. Pretty much everyone's going to come with like a phaser and a tricorder. Like, you're pretty much going to get it. I think the thing I was aiming for was probably like 2 to 3 accessories included with it. I think that's probably as much as you'd be able to get with the price point. Obviously that can change, but this is just, I'm trying to make what I would be dreaming about, but also trying to stay pretty realistic. So you guys let me know how I'm doing in the comment section. All right, then we move on to figure number 4, and that's going to be Seska. And you'll see here it says that Seska as a Cardassian. If you guys are fans of Voyager, you understand probably where we're going with this. But yeah, so here is Seska. She comes with the little hand phaser from the Kazon. Then let's move down, and we have Leonardo da Vinci. John Rhys Davies is awesome, and I just want any time I can get a John Rhys Davies figure, I'm going to try to get it. Also, I think it'd be really cool if he comes with the mobile emitter, rather than including that with the MH, because it's already on his arm. You'd get it as a separate accessory for Da Vinci, so you could actually use it for other stuff as well. All right, then we move on to Poitai, I believe is how it's pronounced. This is like a deep cut figure. I just thought he had such a cool design. It's from the episode of Voyager where there's like this giant pitcher plant essentially that's trying to lure Voyager into its mouth with the mental thought that it's some kind of wormhole that's going to bring them home. Then we move on to the Kazon. Now this is just like a generic Kazon, because I kind of had rules and like a setup of what figures you get per wave. And so I'll kind of break down exactly how I chose to set up the waves as I did. Then we move on to Anorax. This is Kurtwood Smith. You might recognize him from That 70s Show. He was in this really great, probably the best 2-parter in all of Voyager. And he has this like time travel ship, and he's adjusting history. And he comes with the little triangle glass with like this hair from his wife that he's just trying to bring back to life by altering time. Really great episode. If you guys are just minor fans of Star Trek and maybe you haven't seen that episode, look up. It's a 2-parter. I think it's in like season 4 or 5. Look it up. It's fantastic. Really great watch. It's called The Year of Hell. So yeah, so that is your 8 figures from the first wave. So the way that it's broken up is, I wanted to make sure you had at least 3 or 4 uniformed Starfleet main cast members. And then I wanted to give you at least 1 or 2 like really interesting looking aliens. Cause this is, it's Star Trek. It's aliens. You want it to look, rather than just a bunch of people in suits. And then I wanted to give you like 1 like generic alien. So you'd have like, like army builder potential perhaps. And then I wanted to give you like a named villain for like the end. So in this one, it's Anorax. And then of course I just threw in John Rhys Davies because I just love that guy. We got to put him in there. So that is your first wave. Now, each wave would also have 2 exclusive figures. They'd be like your store exclusive. So if you're like thinking in terms of McFarlane, that would be your, gold label, where they're just sold in like Targets or Walmarts or online only or Amazon exclusives or whatever. So that would be essentially that. And so it's 2 figures, and they'd be roughly just reused figures. Maybe they have like a different head or something. So for wave 1, we're looking at the 2 exclusives for this one would be the Doctor, where he's in his emergency command hologram uniform. So he gets his 4 pips captain's uniform, and he comes with his holo recorder as well, since he used that multiple times in the show. So I think that'd be really cool. It's a nice little nod to the episode. And then you also have Ensign Seska. So here's a Seska variant where she looks like she's a Bajoran, well, before it's revealed that she's actually a Cardassian in disguise. And the nice thing about this too is you get, I really wanted this wave that you could like do some customization so you could pop the heads off and swap stuff around. So I wanted to give you a lot of different uniform colors and different sizes. And so you have a lot of potential to swap parts around. So you get like, for the few characters that you don't get, you should be able to more or less be able to customize them in some way, shape, or form relatively easy with the figures that I picked. So keep that in mind as well. Each wave would also have a 2-pack that would get sold as well, just to give you something else different, maybe get some other cool characters or stuff. And for the first wave, we are redoing the Playmates 2-pack with Species A472 and Ensign Harry Kim, where he is very badly injured. I just thought that 2-pack from the Playmates was awesome. It'd be great to redo it. And Species A472 is freaking huge and big, and the only way you're going to get him is in some kind of giant 2-pack. We're starting off with Commander Chakotay. Got to start with him. Yeah, he's fantastic, great character. I wanted to split him in every wave. I wanted to split up so you'd want to be able to like get everybody. So then we have a 7 of 9. And I had about 10 different versions of her. I wasn't sure which uniforms to go with her. So I went with purple because I figured that was like the most iconic. And then we move on to Neelix. Got to put Neelix in there. He comes with his Tone Phaser as well. It's about the only time I could get that prop in there. So I was like, we're going to put that in there. Then we have Kess. Because if you have Neelix, you got to have Kess. She comes in the emergency medical kit because I figured the doctor had a bunch of the actual tools and she wanted to have just like the full kit. So between the two of them, you get a lot of different stuff. So yeah, there you go. That is the first 4. Then we move on to number 5, and that's going to be Reginald Barkley. Now here's your first view of the First Contact like movie uniforms. If we do the DS9 wave, you're going to see a lot of those as well. But for now, this is the first time you see it. And yeah, we got to put Barkley in there. He's great. Then we move on to Captain Rudolph Ransom. Again, this was another 2-parter. I don't know if I would count him as a villain per se. He was definitely an antagonist through some of it, but not all of it. He comes with a couple of cool little episode-specific items that he comes with that if you've seen the episodes, you should probably recognize them. But anyway, I thought he was great. Good actor. Great 2-parter, so I wanted to put him in there somewhere. Then we move on to the Vidians. And so again, this is like your generic Vidian. I didn't pick a character specific one. I just wanted like generic for army building purposes. So I went with like the most normal version of the Vidians I could find. And then our final figure in wave 2 is going to be the Borg Queen. As you can see, she comes with the top half. So that way, like if you wanted to have her like coming down out of the ceiling like she does. I also specifically designed the face to look like the actress from the Scorpion and the other episodes of Voyager, because at the end they brought back Alice Krieg from the First Contact movies. But in previous episodes, the Borg Queen was played by a different actress, and she was great. And I wanted her to get a version of her face there as well. So that way, if you did a First Contact wave, you could do the Alice Krieg version of the Borg Queen, and then this one, you still get this one. I did not want to leave her out. I thought she did a great job, so I made sure to put that version of her in there. Okay, and then for the exclusives, yeah, you guessed it. We had to do the 7 of 9 in her classic, like, silver uniform. Again, it's another Playmates figure. It's very iconic design for her, so we had to put it in there somewhere. And then for our other exclusive, I went with Reginald Barkley in the like Voyager uniform, because there was an episode where he was actually a hologram and he had that uniform on. So figured you got to put that in there as well. Let's make it exclusive. It's easy to do. It would be a lot of easy parts reuse. So again, I think if you're like looking at cost of this stuff, yeah, there's a lot of tooling, but a lot of this is reuse and should be able to get away with relatively cheaply. So I'm surprised that this hasn't happened or doesn't exist. And then the 2-pack we went with for wave 2 is going to be 7 of 9 as a full Borg and a generic Borg as well. You get a couple of Borg figures, so if you're like wanting to play around and you want to do stuff, you could have 7 of 9 just be like a normal Borg and this other Borg, and so the Borg Queen has a few Borgs that she can lead around to attack people. I'm saying Borg a lot, but let's just move on to wave 3. Okay, wave 3, we start with Got to get back and do another Janeway. This time it's future Janeway from the series finale Endgame. I think the costume design is cool. I liked this version of Janeway. I thought she did a great job. She comes with the little time travel thing that she steals from the Klingons and a futuristic tricorder. But yeah, I'm like, we got to put her in there. And then that also worked really well with like the Borg Queen and everything else too. So another great figure, really cool design. Yeah, I thought it would be really cool to put in there. And then we're moving on, Tom Paris. We got to finish knocking out the rest of those like main core cast members. So we got to get Tom Paris in there. And of course he comes with the medical kit as well. And then we move on to B'Elanna. And I think this figure turned out, there's something about this figure turned out really well. I was really happy with the way this one looked. Some of them looked really good. Some of them look not as good. I don't know why, but she just, for some reason, she just looks like perfect. Like I feel like a lot of these look pretty darn realistic. So I'm pretty happy with the way they turned out. But she does come with, especially she comes with a little engineering tool. I forget what it's called. But then we move on to Harry Kim. And he comes with his own like little personal laptop thing that he has as well. And then sadly he's just Ensign. And if you guys watch the show, you know that doesn't narrow down what season this is that he's from, because he was always an Ensign. I kind of cheated here. There was a couple figures that I wanted to put in, and I realized, or I didn't have enough waves to put in all the figures I wanted. And so I was looking at 3 different characters that I wanted to put in. And I realized that they're all roughly the same height, and they all wear the same uniform. Now, the pips are wrong, but other than that, I think you can get away with it. So here they are, Vorik, Tuvix, and Lon Suter. Ensign Vorik was in so many episodes. I don't know if he was anyone's favorite. He rubbed people the wrong way quite a bit. He was never my favorite, but he was always in engineering. He's in so much of the show. Got to put him in there somewhere. Tuvix was such just a memorable, terrible episode, but he's just so memorable. You got to put him in there. And I did see Nacelle is doing a figure of him as well, so that's pretty interesting. And then of course, Lon Suter really has such a great character arc through the show. He's in very little. He's only in a few episodes, but he has such a great character arc that I was like, man, if there's somewhere I can put Lon Suter, I want to put him in there. So yeah, there you go. So you get those 3 together. Then we move on to the next figure in the wave. That would be the drone, which is the futuristic Borg that's made from, so it's from the Doctor's mobile emitter and 709 nanoprobes, and it creates like this very futuristic Borg. And he had a great design. He was only in 1 episode, but he was really cool. And I was like, we get another Borg, but he looks different. He's interesting. He goes by the name One. Just good episode, cool character. Let's put him in there. Our generic army builder figure, essentially from this wave, and that would be the Hirogen. Got to put the Roach in there. They have such a cool design that I was like, we gotta put these guys in there somewhere. And so, yeah, there you go. We got the Hirogen. And then the last figure of Wave 3, and it is Captain Braxton from the Timeship Relativity, I believe is his timeship from the future. And I went with this version of Braxton, not the one from the 2-parter, just because I thought this was more generic or more iconic. And he comes with his little, with the little temporal explosion device that it destroys Voyager, which is what gets him involved in this whole episode in the first place. Not to spoil it if you watch it, pretty good. But yeah, I thought let's put him in there. We get a futuristic Starfleet uniform as well. It's pretty cool. Then we move on to the exclusives, and we get Tom Paris in his racing uniform. You know, it's just a cool design. Like, I just like the design of it, that I was like, you know what? It's not one of the most needed figures, but because we had the exclusives, it would be easy for them to retool the main Starfleet uniform into that one. So it'd be cheap for them to do. It'd be a cool exclusive, and it just looks cool. So, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd buy that figure. And then Captain Braxton, where he's disguised as an ensign in that episode of Voyager as well. So it gets you what I really like about this is it gets you a larger blue suited Starfleet uniform, so you could swap that around in different characters. Again, think about all the different part swapping you do with these figures, and it would just get us another blue suit science officer uniform. So, and then the 2-pack for this one, we are looking at B'Elanna where she is split into full Klingon and full human. And the chief surgeon Sulan, or Sulan, I forgot how it's pronounced. Yeah, if you look closely at this figure, if you guys have not seen the episode, he is a Vidian. His whole skin is all like messed up, and he literally, well, let's just say he borrows the face of someone else and kind of puts it on his own, uh, you know. Anyway, it's messed up, but it's an interesting episode, and it gets you an alternate version of Lana. You get like a normal head for her as well, and yeah, I think it's a pretty cool 2-pack. I would definitely be interested in getting that one. That brings us to the final wave, which is wave 4. And wave 4 in each of these series, because I kind of plotted out all the different shows. I kind of plotted out TNG, DS9, Enterprise. And if they make it to wave 4, this is where we've already got all the main bridge crew. We've got a lot of the main like aliens that they encounter, and a lot of the necessary figures are done. So now we get to have a little more fun. So we're starting off with Arachnia, Queen of the Spider People. And so we get Catherine Janeway doing a evil, radio play kind of a villain. Catherine Proton was like their reoccurring holodeck thing that they had through Voyager. And I always enjoyed it. It was always in like black and white. So I figured let's do the figures in black and white as well. It just makes them really stand out. And I also adjusted the packaging a little bit because why not? Let's really have some fun with this. Of course, you can't go without Captain Proton then. He's got his little jetpack and his gun. And you can't have Captain Proton without Buster Kincaid. So you've got those guys. Let's keep it going. Let's get the Doctor playing the President of Earth. And he comes with just this little model of Captain Proton's ship. And then we move on to the next figure in the wave, which is the Delaney sisters playing the twin mistresses of evil. Now, these were twin sisters playing like a villain in the holodeck program with them. And they come with Captain Proton's like little communicator wristwatch. Then we have Satan's robot. Now, I'm not sure if he would actually fit in the packaging. I had to shrink him down a little bit, so I don't know if the figure would actually be 100% scale. But that is not my problem. That can be, if someone ever decides to make this, they can figure that out. Then we have Lonzak. He's the right-hand man of evil, and he has a really cool design. They changed his design up in a later episode, and I went with the later episode one because I just thought it looked a lot cooler. I think it'd be really fun to buy. And then, of course, last but not least, you have to have Dr. Chaotica, ruler of the cosmos. He looks cool and is like, you gotta have this. So yeah, so this whole wave becomes a Captain Proton wave, and it's ridiculous, but I'm all here for it. And then the 2 exclusives from this one, this is where I kind of cheated a little bit, because in all the previous ones, the exclusives were based on figures from that wave. This one, I actually wanted to do some exclusives from figures from previous waves that I didn't get to do alternate variations of. So we're starting off with Warship Voyager version of Tuvok, and I like their little slightly evil versions of the Starfleet uniforms. And of course, this version of Tuvok smiles, so we got to get a smiling Tuvok. It's like, where else are we going to get a chance to get a smiling Tuvok head? So let's do it. And then, of course, keeping that going, we did a Warship Voyager version of Chakotay as well. He has the full side of his face is tattooed. I just think they look really cool. I really like those uniforms. Again, they're easy to do. I could not find exactly which version of the phasers that they were using, the phaser rifles that they're using in that episode. Couldn't find any decent pictures of it. I tried watching the episode and I just really couldn't get a good image of it. So I just stuck the TNG era movie phasers. Phaser rifles, I just put those in there with them because they're pretty close to that. And I couldn't tell exactly what they were, so I just kind of went with that. So if anyone in the comments is like a huge Trek guy and realizes that I'm wrong there, I know I'm wrong there too. That's just what I could see. And then the last 2-pack that I went with there's an episode of Voyager called Nemesis. It has nothing to do with the Star Trek movie called Nemesis, but it's a great episode. It's basically Chakotay ends up fighting in this war, and we just get like Chakotay in the jungle in like this like army suit, and he's all like battle damaged and looking really bad, and he's fighting this alien threat called the Kraden. And these guys just look like predators. So obviously there's some twists and turns. And if you've seen the episode, it's a really great twist. Good episode. But yeah, I thought those would be really cool figures to make. And it gives us our final 2-pack. And so there you go. Of course, if like the figures were doing well and you made it past like wave 4 and you wanted to do more, there's obviously more figures that you could do. We have no Ichab, we have no Wildman. We could do Q from the Civil War. You could do Q Sun. Like there's so many figures that we didn't get to that I would love to see as well. But if this is what we got, I would be super happy with it. And yeah, again, I've never seen anyone do exactly this kind of video, so I've been working on it for quite a while. I don't know. It just seemed interesting to me. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, I have an idea for a couple more of these that I might want to do after Star Trek, or maybe in between Star Trek, that I definitely want to see, and that I will probably spend a lot of time making fake action figures of. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Great to be back. As always, stay grounded.